Hi, and welcome back to week 6 of the Journey to Self-Love training course. I hope you're really enjoying it so far. We're nearly there. We're 3/4 of the way through, and I'm really enjoying spending time with you and helping you to develop the self-love for yourself. So, how are you going in terms of that? How is your self-love? We look back to week 1 where we made our scale. Where are you now? Write down this week where you are in terms of self-love of yourself. Also, how did you go with your goal? You're halfway through week 2 of your 4-week goal. Have you done well? Is it a struggle? Have you made it too hard? If there's things that you've looked at out of that SMART goal that maybe your life wasn't realistic enough, or is it perfect? Did you really think about it and write down the perfect goal? And are you already on your way to achieving it? Have you already achieved it? So it'd be great to hear in the comments where you're at with your goal. Just remember, if you have gone off track with your goal or you've totally given up, just remember, forgive yourself and try again, start again. Don't give up totally, start again. If it's to do with your goal, then rewrite your goal and see how you can do over the next 2 weeks. And homework, how did we go with homework? Did you get your emotive language I statements down? Did you use them in your reframing of your mindset? When you're thinking about things, have you reframed it using an emotive language I statement? I'd love to know. Again, put it in the comments. And your anchor that we did, how did you go with that? Did you build it up and practice and make it stronger? Were you able to use it in a situation already? Did you think about any of the other anchors you've created in your own life, whether they're positive or negative? I'd love to know. Again, put it in the comments. So, what are we learning today? Well, today we're going to focus on the self-care segment of the self-love wheel. A lot of you may have already written your goal in terms of self-care, but we're going to go into it a little bit more deeper, find out the 3 areas to self-care that is important for our self-love. Then we're going to look at how we can help ourselves develop self-love by helping our self-care. And then we'll do an activity 1 and 2, which hopefully will solidify that. And also at the end, we'll just talk about how all the segments together in our wheel all work together to help form a healthy self-love of ourselves. Not ego-driven, but truly a love for ourselves that only matters to us, but it will matter to the other people in your life because you will be different in your life around you. And the great thing is this will really enhance the homework activity. Okay, let's get started. So today we're going to be looking at the self-love wheel, and we're going to be particularly looking at the self-care element. So what is self-care? Self-care is taking active care of our physical, mental, and emotional needs. And these 3 areas are the integral part of self-care. It's often when we talk about self-care, people just assume it's the physical side, but actually we forget that we need to also nurture our emotional and mental needs as well. I mean, this is the area where I think it needs the most support leading to self-love. And the reason for this is because the environment around us, the people around us who have abused us, who have bullied us, who has given us negative talk, which very often would be related to our physical, mental, or emotional needs. And that's how we generate a low self-esteem and towards ourselves due to those 3 areas of self-care. Then there is our own issues that we bring to ourselves by judging our body, our behavior, our personality, or our thoughts. an example of our body, obviously that was the one where we look at ourselves and do that negative self-talk. Oh, I need to lose weight. I look really fat in this. These types of things that we do. The behavior, it could be especially parents would go through this after a long day of work or doing something, and your child comes in and you just grump at them like that, and then you chastise yourself about how you should have dealt with that differently. And maybe you don't even go and apologize to them. So you're building that behavioral thing that you don't like, but it still doesn't mean you change it. The other things with personality, you might not like how you are in your group of friends. You think you might be too weak. You don't stand up for yourself. So there's all this negative talk, and then it's just your thoughts. And we talked about thoughts a lot, the reframing. How many negative thoughts we get a day? There's 6,000 thoughts a day. So many of those are negative. Not all are positive, and a lot of them are just even. So it's really, really important part of self-care, because we do all of this, plus then we have the environmental issues affecting our self-love as well. So it's so, so important, because as I've said before, we are our own worst critics. We chastise, we provoke, we are negative towards ourselves constantly. So we need to change that. And hopefully it's week 6 now. We're getting rid of a lot of that you're doing to yourself already. But today's on self-care, I hope this really drums it into you about how important it is that we care for ourselves. And using those emotive language words that we talked about last week is an important part of this. So the first 5 weeks, we've spent a lot of time on positives, finding positives, which is so important and integral to the self-love wheel, and including self-care. And as I mentioned before, you may have used the self-care in your goal that you set for yourself for the 4 weeks. So actually put that in the comment if you have used self-care. I'd love to know what it is that which area, like physical, emotional or mental, that you've focused on. So some of the things that we can do to help with our physical, mental and emotional needs are, for physical, with healthy eating, exercising. For the mental side, we could use logic games, we could read, we could learn something new. The emotional side, healthy relationships with people, self-love activities, doing something you enjoy, all helps, all these things. And there's just a few examples of each that we could do. So a proper example would be like if you walked for 30 minutes a day, that walking activity, which is a physical need, can actually help and boost your emotional needs, because as you walk, you're producing dopamine, and if dopamine levels rise, it makes you more happier. So obviously your emotional needs are linked in. Then also it can also support your mental needs, including it helps you focus better, which means that you can learn, read, plan your life a little bit better around what you're doing. And that's why experts say that after sitting or working or learning for an hour, you should do a movement break, because that helps you get back your focus when you're feeling a little bit tired. It actually invigorates you. So if you are doing any of those 3 activities, get up and do a movement. It'll wake you up. It'll give you more focus. So that's just walking. So imagine what other changes you can make in your life that will help boost all 3 areas of self-care. So we have worked a lot over the course on boosting your self-esteem, because a higher self-esteem means higher self-love. So by helping you with these 3 areas in self-care will help you boost your esteem in yourself, and therefore will help you to continue to boost your self-love. And this leads us really well into activity 1. So you'll need your books for this, and you'll need a whole page of your books. What I want you to do is make a 4-column table for the whole page. and halfway down, halve the table. So you've got two halves. At the top, just put a title in column 2, 3, and 4 of physical, mental, and emotional, leaving column 1 empty. And in column 1, just about halfway down in that top half, just put the word positive. So I could bet there's minds going now with that self-love, knowing I know what I'm going to do here. What I want you to do for those three areas, the physical, the mental, and the emotional, I want you to put down the positive things that you are already doing in each of those areas. Because we're on to our 6th week in our self-love journey, you should have a range of things you've done in those times, but also I'm sure there's things that you feel or have done in the past that are linked to the physical, mental, and emotional needs. So that's what I want you to do. Write positives. Remember, be positive about yourself. There are lots of things. Really think about it. Take your time with this, as most of the activities I asked you to. Don't just rush it. Really think about it. Involve yourself in your self-love and make some positive changes by writing down lovely positives about yourself in those three areas. So what I'll do, I'll pause the video and we'll see you when you get back. Hi, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed activity 1. I hope you're able to find loads of positives there. I hope you're able to use your self-awareness skills to help produce loads of lovely positive things about yourself in this table. But now we're going to be straight on to activity 2 because we have a bottom half of the table. So what we're going to do here, now I bet you some of you are using that mental skills, you're thinking we're going to put the word negative in the bottom. We're not, because we want to get rid of that. We're going to call the bottom section. So in column 1, I want you to put the words cutting away. We're going to put the things in the areas, the physical, mental, and emotional needs, which things you need to cut away. Now this is a really difficult process, and this is why this process is later in the course, because it involves us making decisions that might not be decisions we want to make, but we know they're best for our self-love. So there's all different areas that we can cut away. But before we do this, we do need to discuss why. Why is it we need to cut away? It is important for us to learn to cut away things that are destructive, disrespectful, or negative towards us, that are stopping us moving forward in our journey to loving ourselves. This is an integral part of building our self-esteem, building our self-worth, and moving towards a true self-love. It will be difficult. And it's important to know that cutting away doesn't necessarily mean getting rid of. It can mean steadily decreasing, because it's so important to be aware of our emotional needs. When we get rid of things totally, all at once, our chances of success can be less if our will is not strong. It means we could have negative effects on our emotional needs, which means that we're not caring for ourselves at all. I feel our emotional needs are a catalyst for our physical and mental needs, which means more important. So when choosing to cut away, make sure you're self-aware of your emotional needs and be self-confident that you can do it. Trust yourself. All the areas of the self-love will apply here to cutting away. This is why self-care is one of the most important areas, because it brings together all the elements of self-love. So some of the things we might cut away in terms of our physical needs might be snacks at night. It might be that piece of cake at a coffee shop. It also could be lazy days on the sofa. In terms of our mental needs, you might cut away binge watching programs, social media, long relaxation periods. And in terms of the social media and the binge watching programs, you do need to use discernment here on what is a good thing to view for your own emotional needs. And then the things that you need to do for your emotional needs, negative self-talk or sad or violent topics that you view on social media or on television, or listening to music content, to use that as discernment that I spoke about. Another thing that you could cut away are toxic, destructive people in your life. Now, this is the hard one, because these are people that obviously matter to you, but you need to really go through and say, why do they matter? Am I trying, like I did with my father, I always tried to get my father's love, never got it. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't love me in his own way, but I never got the love that I sought. And it was kind of wasted by me trying to please him all the time. So it's so important that you do look at your friendship circles, look at the people in your life. Do I need to cut away people? And again, remember, cutting away doesn't necessarily mean straight cut. It can be over time. So take a long, hard look at the people in your life that you need to consider cutting away or decreasing. If it's someone from your inner circle, like close family, or maybe your bestest friends, you need to maybe reduce contact. If it's someone from works or sporting clubs, social clubs that you belong to, you may consider cutting away. Or if it's in terms of work, you might just decrease that contact, only have it as work-related contact. And acquaintances that you don't really feel you are getting what you need from, just cut them away. Do not build like 2,000, 4,000 friends on Facebook. What is the purpose of that? You need to be looking within yourself, thinking, what need am I trying to satisfy? What emotional need? And the more friends you have on Facebook, the more notifications you get. So it also affects your mental needs because you're constantly on social media. So it's really, really important that you do consider cutting away people in your life. But it's also important that you decide whether that's what you want to do, because you are always at the center of your self-love. Remember, self-love is doing things that make you happy. So if you're not happy cutting away just because I've said write a list, maybe put a question mark against some things that you're not too sure about. But remember, this is a list for you, so please don't advertise your list. You don't want to. Someone doesn't want to see their name on your cutting away list. But it's just about a process where you're internalizing your thinking and thinking, why do I need this person? Why do I need this activity? Why do I need this food? And solve that problem by cutting it away and finding out and nurturing the problem at its core root. Okay, so take as much time as you like, really deep inner thoughts here, and write down the people or things that you want to cut away, or actions, activities, behaviors. And just remember, cutting away is a positive to your self-love. Don't cut away the things that are important to you. Cut away the things that are not as important, or the things that are destructive or disrespectful to how you want to grow within yourself. So good luck in finding the things that you need to cut away. If you're very lucky, you've got hardly anything on your list. It's not about numbers. It's about how these actions, behaviors, things, people affect you, and what is best for you and your emotional needs. All right, I'm going to pause the video. So welcome back. I hope that activity 2 was really beneficial for you. It may have brought out emotions in you. That's okay. You are able to feel sad about cutting away something because it's been part of your life. It would be like taking a blanket, a security blanket away from someone. They're going to feel sad and feel like they need it. So that's why I'm saying choose between cutting away straight away or decreasing over time. That is how it's going to help benefit your own emotional needs and building self-love. So put it in the comments how you went with that, whether you found it difficult or emotional, or you found it quite easy because you could recognize the things that were not beneficial to you in terms of you feeling self-love. So I want to just quickly talk about the self-love wheel and all the areas. I've mentioned before that all the areas are interrelated. And you start with self-awareness. That's a thought pattern where you're looking at yourself. And you use it within self-trust and confidence, self-acceptance, self-care, self-respect, and self-compassion. If you do this and use all the parts of the self-love wheel, it will boost your self-esteem, it will boost your self-worth, and it will lead you to loving yourself the way you should be loved. Non-ego, just you in your own space, in your own vessel. Alright, it's that time of the day where we talk about homework. Well, today's homework I think will be really beneficial. Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do is you're going to pick one of the things that, or people you're cutting away. Pick the easiest one, the one that you know will be quite easy to cut away. It's just about willpower and being good to yourself. What we're going to do is write a I statement. It could be an emotive language one under each section or segment of the self-love wheel, and we'll be starting at self-awareness. I'm going to do an example for you about what we could do. So the first one, self-awareness. I eat too many chocolate nuts. And I do. I love chocolate nuts, but I know they're bad for me. There's one thing that if I open the packet, it's really hard. I have to use strong willpower to stop eating the whole packet. So if I do buy chocolate nuts, it's always in small packets, but still it's way too much at one time. The second one is self-acceptance. I understand that I eat too many chocolate nuts to soothe my boredom. Number 3, self-compassion. I forgive myself for eating too many chocolate nuts. Number 4, self-respect. I respect myself, so I now need to make a change. Number 5, self-care. I care about my health. I am no longer going to eat chocolate nuts. Number 6, self-trust and confidence. I trust myself around chocolate nuts, and I have the confidence I will give them up. So I hope that gives you a clear understanding of what I want you to do. Now, please don't try and use the same language as I did in my example, but I understand there may not be many ways you can rewrite things. But I hope that example made it really clear how you can use those 6 segments either in a list like I gave you or a paragraph where you're just writing about why you're cutting it away. Give a little bit more information than I did to explain what the process is, maybe why you do what you do, because this is just for you. I just gave you a very basic list of things. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. But remember, you're the one only viewing it. So actually being very self-aware and understanding yourself and being accepting of yourself will help you to write longer comments, and you could write it in a paragraph. It just could be a cutting away chocolate nuts paragraph. So what did we learn today? Well, we talked about self-care and the 3 areas that come under self-care: the physical, mental, and emotional needs. We also talked about how we can eliminate negative self-care attitudes, behaviors, thoughts, and replace them with positive ones. In activity 1, we looked at the positive things that we're doing under those 3 needs. And then I got you to really think deeply in activity 2 and think about how to cut away and what to cut away in your life to make self-love your priority in your life. Then we just quickly spoke about all the segments of the self-love wheel and how they are interrelated. And I'd set a homework task that showed you how you can do that. And that homework task was related to something that you can cut away, that is a simple thing. So I hope you found this useful today. I've really enjoyed talking to you about that self-love wheel. I just think it's so important to how we can view ourselves and how we can view how much we love ourselves. Just a final reminder that cutting away is about self-love and is a positive action and will only benefit your self-love towards yourself and your whole life. Loving yourself will help you build more positive relationships into your life. And I know that self-love will bring that to us. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I've really enjoyed teaching you again today, and I hope that your homework task is really beneficial for you. So, sending you positive and healing thoughts, love and light to you all.